Homegoing in 3 words: captivating, brilliant, and educative. What about you, D?
Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi in 3 words for me: gripping, informative, and intriguing.
Yes. It's your girl, Tipe Dada, and with me is
Diana Renee.
as usual. Welcome to a Bookish pair once again. And if you're just joining us, we do book reviews basically on African literature, and we hope that you'll stick around with us for the long journey.
Yeah.
Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, described by Zadie Smith as an intelligent, beautiful, and healing read, and I totally agree with her. Yaa Gyasi was born in Mampong, Ghana, and raised in Huntsville, Alabama, in the US. Homegoing is her first novel, and it was selected for the National Book Foundation's 5 Under 5 and shortlisted for the Center for Fiction's First Novel Prize. And it won the National Book Critics Circle John Leonard Prize for Best First Book. And I think this book deserves all the accolades that it's gotten so far.
It does. Yeah. So this book, Homegoing, is set in the 1700 and 1800 in Ghana during the British colonial rule, and also in America during the transatlantic slave trade, during the West, where they bought slaves to come and pick cotton in the plantation in America. So that's basically the setting of this book. So Homegoing basically tells a story of a family generation. It starts with a woman, Mami, who didn't, for some weird reason, didn't even narrate her own story. So it starts with her daughter, her first daughter, telling the story of how she was born, how Mami gave birth to her. But everything just shows that everything that happened came from Mami. Mami is the main, she's the main umbrella, she's the ancestor. And it just shows everything that happened afterwards, down to Mami's 7th generation. So it starts with Efia. Mami was a slave who was captured, and she was in a Fante village, and then she set a fire. So the book starts with her setting a fire and fleeing, and that's the day she gave birth to Efia, who is her first daughter. And then Efia grew up with her stepmothers, her father's other wife, and she never knew that the woman who raised her was not her actual mother, because that woman was really brutal towards her. Used to beat her and everything. It was later revealed that that woman was actually not her mother. So when Mami ran away, set the fire, ran away, she went to start another life in another village. I think Asante village, and where she had another daughter, Essie, for a warrior. Then in Ghana they call them big men. So she had a child for this big man, and this child, and then something happened. They went to raid a village and they caught slaves. So one of the slaves now told Essie that you're not your mother's first child and everything. She has another child somewhere, and Essie was so interested in knowing the gist, and somehow Essie did something. Essie sent a message to the slave's father, and that's how the slave's father came to their village, and they raided the village, and that's how the family of Mami and Essie, they killed people. This exactly scattered. They killed people and everything, and Essie was taken into captivity and sold to the British rulers, and she was locked up in a den. Going back to Efia's story, Efia's stepmother now married her off to a British man. There was the time a British man came to their village to come and strike a deal with the men in the community. Those ones were the ones selling slaves to the British people. So the British people, exactly, the British people did not come and say, okay, it was their own leader, their own village people that were capturing their people and selling them off for money. Exactly. So Efia was married off to a British man, and they went to live in the castle. Essie was captured and taken to the dungeon in the castle. So Mami died and everything. So the book now shows these people, their lives. Efia, who later had a child, Essie had a child, and then down to their 7th generation. So it also talks about the history of Ghana and how slavery was a thing. The colonial rule, how they suffered so much in the hands of the British people, and how they were able to pick themselves up, back, gain their independence and all of that. The Brits. So that's basically, it uses lives of this family to tell the story of the rise and fall of a nation. So yeah, that's basically the plot of Homegoing.
One thing that I liked about Homegoing was the language. It was very easy, was simple to read, and another thing was the characters. Let's talk about the characters.
Let's talk about the characters of this book. Now, the way Yaa Gyasi wrote this book, each character told his own story. So every chapter is a character narrating from their own point of their birth to probably their death or whatever. So that's how the book, and then the characters and then the timelines are strong. The characters are strong, independent, they're wonderfully written characters, really. So we're going to pick out a few of the characters that we like. I'll start with James Richard Collins. He's the grandson of James Collins, who Effia, who married Effia. They married Effia off to him, and then they all lived in Castle. He was one of the British people who used to trade, to deal with slaves and everything. They were cruel and mean to slaves. And then he had a child called Quay, and James Collins paved a way for Quay. So Quay didn't have a choice. As he was born, he continued his father's job in slave trade and everything. He was already mixed because his mother was black, but he continued that. He treaded down that path of selling slaves in Ghana and everything. And then Quay now had a son, that's James Richard Collins, who I think is one of my favorite characters in this book. He went back, they posted him back to Fante village, where his mother is originally from, and because he comes from a royal family, and he's also quarter caste anyway, so he had privileges and everything. And then he went to his mom's village. His mom was a princess from another village who was captured by his own father's village. It's really funny. And then he went for his grandfather's funeral, and he met a girl who he liked. He saw and he liked, and he wanted to marry her. And then his uncle was like, no, you can't marry her because she's a commoner, and this is the path you're supposed to follow. Your father followed this path, your grandfather followed. This is the path you're following. You will grow old, you will marry who will give you to marry, because it ties makes that tie stronger with the British people and everything, and he's like, no. So he lies that he goes to some village, and then there's a war there, and then he just says he's dead. They sent word out there that he's dead. So to every other person, but only his grandmother knew, Effia, because he told his grandmother, this is what you people have been doing. I don't want to do this. I don't want to follow this path anymore. I don't want to sell slaves. I don't want to be a slave trader and all of that. And then he just ran away and changed the course of
his life. Basically, renounced
his royalty and changed the course of his own descendants, people who now came from him. So it stopped that line of slavery, and I think it's one of my favorite characters. So this is from Effia's own tree. So if we go to Essie's own tree, Essie.
Ness.
Yes. So Ness. Essie is the one who was captured and taken to the dungeon in the castle, where the British people stayed, and she was sold into slavery. She went to America, and we don't know who she had relations with. That she had a daughter. I think one of the soldiers raped her, and then she had a daughter called Ness. And Ness grew up in the plantation. She was working there, and then she married a fellow slave, and he was Nigerian. She married a Nigerian slave, and they had a child who they named Kojo. But then they met a woman who said she could help them escape from the plantation, because they were working in a place they called the Devil's Plantation. It was hell. That's what they used to call the master, the devil, and the place was hell. And then she said she could help them escape. As they were trying to escape, the plan failed,
but they were able to get.
She was able to get their son out of the place, and then the devil, that's your master, killed her husband Sam, and then she, I don't know what happened. She was flogged. In fact, she was scarred for life. So Kojo escaped and became Kojo Freeman in America, and then he was actually born free. He was not a slave and everything. And then they said, that at some point in his own life, after he married and had like 7, 8 children.
Kojo was one that had children.
Them
in alphabetical
yes,
order.
exactly. He had several children, and they now said there was a law that was going to pass that if you were an escaped slave, you were going
your master could reclaim you so
back
you could,
or something.
Yeah, and be reclaimed.
I know Kojo's wife was kidnapped
and she was pregnant.
She was pregnant for the last son.
And Kojo's wife was actually a free person. Like she was freeborn.
She was freeborn, and then she was kidnapped and killed, and then she gave birth to H. Who is your favorite character?
Yes,
one of your favorite characters.
So basically, these are some of the characters in the book. This book is filled with so many interesting characters, and everybody with his own unique story and relationship and all that. It's something that I really enjoyed about the book. The characters were very vibrant. You could feel them come to life on the pages of this book.
One of the things I like about this book is Yaa Gyasi addresses some really strong themes in this book.
Does.
Yeah, so but
let's start from what themes do you feel?
Okay, so what are some of the themes that you like about this book?
Okay, one thing that stood out for me is how she made the importance of family roots very glaring. Also, another thing is history. The fact that she went through centuries, generations, 7 generations of family, that was really amazing. And another thing is language. That's also one thing that I usually look out for in books, and there was no shortage of that in ongoing. What about you?
I like how she addresses racism and segmentation.
Okay.
So discrimination and all of that, because it's something that was still facing in our society today. And I think she was really bold to have written about it, because it's something people kind of shy away from. And she went all out and said it as it is. This is what they came to do. They came to take this one. They were brutal to us. She described everything well. Well, she did not mince her words. I also like how she addresses slavery. Even there's a part in the book where she said, or where she, a character said, even if we're going to end slavery physically, we're going to attack them mentally. So that's where that slave mentality comes from.
It is still
exactly in our society today. If it's not a white man, you feel like, it's until it's a white person thing. That's white complex. So they attacked our minds even after they physically left us. They attacked our minds. I also like how she addresses identity crisis with Marjorie and Marcus, the 7th generation. They were lost. They were lost, and it also reminded me of Bonnie Crime, Trevor Noah's Bonnie Crime, where you're neither here nor there. So Marjorie is originally from Ghana, but she was born and raised in America, and then when she comes to Ghana, she doesn't feel like she's Ghanaian. And when she's in America, she doesn't belong to the Americans, because you're not American. And the same thing with Marcus. His family had always come from America. He knew them to be Americans, Black Americans, and he just had a sense of belonging somewhere else. He just felt to know where he belongs to. He belongs to Africa and all of that. So there's this identity crisis that she addressed, and it was beautifully done.
Another thing was the matter of religion, the African religion versus Christianity.
Yes,
that was also really in focus in the book.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So T, what are some of the things you like about this book?
Okay, first, I like her writing style. I like how she effectively used language, and I also liked how she used water and fire elements to depict certain things in different characters from the start to the finish of the book. That was really brilliant. And then another thing I liked was the characters. I feel like I mentioned earlier, the characters came to life. I could relate with them, and I liked how she made it really real. And even though she could have maybe done a few more things with some characters, I feel like it was still brilliantly done. Yeah. What about you?
I love the subject matter of the book. I love how she was audacious and how she, talked about racism and everything, and it's a bold move. Like I said, it's stuff that we're still dealing with till today in this society. So I really love the subject matter. Another thing is I just love how the book made me feel as a reader.
Yeah.
I mean, there were things that I was just like, this is just good. I felt good reading this book. It's sad a bit, but I mean, it just showed me that. And then there's also this sense of moral, because especially with my favorite character, James Richard Collins, where it just shows you that whatever decision you make today is not just about the now. It will always affect your generation. So it's never about now. So it just puts that consciousness in my mind, like, oh, okay, I have to be conscious about decisions I make and everything, and how it can affect my generation. And also leads me to a quote I saw recently where it says, I cannot change my ancestors, but I can affect my descendants. So that was just deep. So it just this book just showed me that, So yeah, I just looked at it.
How you rate Ongoing by Yaa Gyasi?
Oh my god, I'm going to give this book a 10. A whopping 10 over 10.
I kind of agree. Yes, I agree. Absolutely agree.
Yes,
it's a 10. It's so good. You should totally read it. And if you read the book, let's talk about it in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going. I can't wait to read what you guys think about this book.
Alright guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed our review of Yaa Gyasi's Homegoing. Like she said, if you've read the book and you have anything you want to share with us, you can always do that in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications so you can get all our uploads in real time. Do not also forget to follow us on social media at Bookish on Instagram and Twitter. See you in our next video. Bye.